Good morning. This is Reverend Onyx. I'm the priest here at Lady of the Circle in the Oaks in Lexington, North Carolina. I'd like to apologize to all my followers that for such a long time since the last video. There has been quite a bit going on here at the shrine and within the community. And but now I'm back, at least for one more for right now. This morning, I'd like to discuss with you how each of us can help to dispel the misinformation and the incorrect stereotyping about pagans among the general population. Now, consider this. As a leader, you can be either active or passive, and we are all leaders. We lead by example, or we can stand in front of the crowd and talk, and we can lead actively. If we lead by example, then we are leading passively. When we as pagans are among those who are not pagan in the general population, we have to remember that there are not a lot of us, and even fewer of us are public about our views and public about our religion. But when we are public about our religion, when we wear a pant or we wear a Thor's hammer, a Mjolnir, or whatever happens to be your symbol of faith that identifies you as pagan, consider this, that most people who you encounter have no idea what paganism is all about, or at least the truth about paganism. What they've seen or heard or read is generally misinformation. The sensationalized stuff on either the small screen or the big screen, the sensationalization that occurs in fiction, the misinformation that occurs in nonfiction, and things such as religious tracts of other faiths. And a lot of that, hopefully, is not intentionally given out. That information, that misinformation, is not intentionally given out. Generally speaking, it's coming from an ignorant point of view. And I use ignorance in this term not as in stupid or daft or thick, but more in the sense that they themselves, the people who are producing this material, have got misinformation, and they believe it. It comes from what they consider a reputable source, so they pass it on. There again, we can always go back to passing on false information is just as bad as creating the false information, but that's a whole different animal. What we're concerned with is helping to correct that stereotype, helping to fix and inform and educate and change the misinformation. When we are dealing with the general public, it is my opinion that we should hold ourselves to a very high standard, ethically, professionally, integrity-wise. You've heard me speak of integrity over and over again. It's a very important thing to me. You've heard my talks on, or some of you have heard my talks on a witch's word is their bond, primarily because if we do not keep our word in the material, in the mundane world, so our word doesn't mean anything, how can we expect our magic to work? Because if it's not believed and known to be true among ourselves and within ourselves, then it's not going to manifest. There's just no way. So we have to watch that. Back to topic though. If a person you encounter happens to be, narrow it down to one-on-one, one-on-one. If a person you encounter and they realize that you are pagan, either by a symbol that you're wearing or by something you say, or t-shirt or bumper sticker or whatever, they realize that you're pagan, consider that you may be the only pagan that they've ever encountered, and they know it. Immediately you become the ambassador for our religion, whether you want to be or not, because that person is going to draw conclusions and is going to draw conclusions and create a general idea of what paganism is about and what paganism is based on your example. Is this correct? No, it isn't, because one of us is not a full slice. It's not the whole pie. It's just one little speck. But most people will judge the entire group, the entire religion, or the entire faith group by what they have encountered. If the example that they encounter, which may be you, is not walking the walk that they seem to talk, then that colors their impression, that colors their idea of the entire faith group. So you have become an ambassador. You are leading. You are a leader. We are all leaders, whether we want to be or not. We are all ambassadors of our faith. Now, absolutely understand that I am not about proselytization. It is a common belief, a common understanding within the craft community that we don't go out and convert. But at the same time, we do make an example of what we are by what we are, what we show, what each of us show. One of the members here at the shrine gave a very good thought on this. She says that when she back in her Christian days, that she attended a church that as you were leaving the parking lot, there was a sign that read, "You are now entering the mission field." Although our mission is not to convert, that actually absolutely applies anytime we interface with someone outside of our faith group or even outside of our group in the pagan community. We are in the mission field. We are showing those people that we encounter what we are about. We don't preach. We don't get up on soapboxes and try to convert people and try to change their views on their own spiritual views. But it is our duty, in my opinion, to present a positive image for our faith group. This will go a long, long, long way in helping our brothers and sisters that are still in the broom closet to get to a place where they feel comfortable in coming out of the broom closet and living their life in the eyes of their family, in the eyes of their professional circles and all, as who they are, without having to hide and deny who they are and what they believe. As we move forward and into the future of our faith, we need to focus on that. We need to understand that we are a legally recognized religion at this point. There are a lot of us out there, more of us that are still in the broom closet than there are out. But even if you're not out in the public saying this is what we believe, you are representing what we believe. Talking interfaith here, you will know them by the fruits they bear. if a person who is ignorant of our beliefs sees you, and you are not what they view as an ethical person or a good person, for lack of a better word, then they're going to assume, or they may assume, that all of us, or at least a vast majority of us, are the same way. And that may or may not be true. So be careful, be vigilant, watch what you say, watch what you do, be true to your own self. Be true to your own self. Be who you are. And you are a good person. Whether you're a Wiccan, whether you're a Druid, whether you're Asatru, or whether you're whatever. And that applies for other faith groups as well. So if there are people here listening that belong to other faith groups, this equally applies to you. If you wear the symbol of a faith, understand that you are, by default, an ambassador of that faith. And that extends even further into other groups, whether they be professional groups or non-professional groups or whatever. When you identify yourself, either actively or passively, with a group, then you automatically become an ambassador for that group. So consider that when you're out in the public. Remember that the media will always look at the person causing the most hoorah, whatever you want to call it. The person that's the most flamboyant, the person that is most, or group, the person that is most out there, most different. And that's all about sensationalism. That's all about selling. That's all about ratings. That's all about readership, circulation, but whether it be print, whether it be video media, in the news or whatever. So if you are out there making a scene for whatever thing that you believe in, while it is admirable that you stand up for what you believe, also understand that you are representing those groups that you are a part of. So if your intent is to get noticed for some whatever the cause happens to be, if your intent is to get noticed and you are parading around, making a spectacle of yourself by doing whatever, understand that that is going to color the opinions of those who are not in the know of everyone else. I can go back even and talk about a little bit about what's called the Ardanes of Gardnerian or British traditional witchcraft. In part of the Ardanes, it speaks of that we will never place a brother and sister of the craft in the danger of the law of the land. Although there are no laws against our religion at this point, if we carry that forward and we understand what the idea behind that advice is, then we can extrapolate and say, well, if I am a flamboyant example of paganism and I am out here making a scene, dancing around, getting media attention for whatever cause it may be, what is that doing for my brother or sister who is still in the broom closet out of a real or imagined fear of coming out of the broom closet, what is that doing for them? Is that indeed placing them in danger by your actions? And if it is, if you say yes to this, then perhaps you should reconsider your actions. I can't tell you what to do. Obviously, I can only tell you what my opinion is. This is just me talking. So take what I say with a grain of salt. No, better yet, this is me. Take it with a block of salt. So take what you will, throw out the rest, but consider my words. I don't want you to think like me. I just want you to think. And when you're thinking, don't only think about yourself. Think about all those that you are representing. Remember, you are always an ambassador of whatever group you were a symbol of or you have identified with. If you have identified publicly with paganism and you decide that you also have another cause that you want to engage, that's great. We don't have to have one cause. We should have many, and a lot of them tie in together, and I understand that. But if your idea of parading or campaigning for a cause is being flamboyant and being the squeaky wheel and being in the center of the media, consider how you do that. Consider what image you're showing, what image you're portraying, what stereotype you are creating, or if you're not creating it, that you're reinforcing it. Please be aware of that. I ask you to always be aware of your actions in public if you have identified yourself as pagan. For my sake, for the sake of all my brothers and sisters in the craft, be careful. You are an ambassador for all of us. I am an ambassador for all of us. We all are ambassadors for all of us. Consider my words and think clearly and follow through on what's going on and what may happen before you do it. Remember that every action creates like a pebble drop in the pond. Every action that you take and that you make creates a ripple, and that ripple affects everyone else. We are all together in the web of life. And even closer into that, we in the craft, in the pagan community, are all together. We are interconnected. What you do affects everyone else. So consider that. I ask you to be careful. No, I implore you to be careful. Consider my words. Thank you for listening. If you have any comments, moans, grumps, gripes, complaints, let me know. Shoot me a video, shoot me a message, shoot me an email, go to my website. You can contact me there. There's a phone number for the shrine there. You can contact us in any way. Let us know what you think. Let me know what you think. If it's a philosophical or a theological issue you want to talk about, that's fine. I love to discuss things like how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. It really, really is enjoyable. So take care of you, and in all things, may you blessed be.